Hi everyone, welcome to FinPod. I'm Jani, your host. Here we bring you the ideas, words, and insights of today's decision makers. This is episode 7 of FinPod by FinPros Network. Today's guest represents something deeper than finance. A professional with over 4 decades of experience, from building a career in India to leading credit and collections for over 3 decades in Oman, and now shaping the next generation through mentorship and learning. A cost accountant from India, a CPA from the USA, and a distinguished Toastmaster. Please welcome Mr. GKumar. So let's start with the questions, shall we?
Yeah, sure.
So you've had a 40 plus year journey across geographies and roles. So if you look back today, what do you think truly shaped your career more? Education, opportunity, or personal discipline?
Education, opportunity, or personal discipline. Honestly, all the three played a major role in my life. But I would say discipline, personal discipline, that is self-discipline will be the number one. Because I always believe, if you are self-disciplined, you can achieve a lot. Even the best of best education you have and the best of best opportunities you get. But if you are not self-disciplined, probably you may not be able to capitalize on that. But if you are self-disciplined and you have the systematic way of approaching, you can reach even to the education that you are not able to complete because you are going to work hard. So when you complete your education, then opportunities are going to thrown at you. So in my opinion, personal discipline comes first, and that opens up window for your education, opportunities, whatever it may be.
That's a very insightful take.
Thank you.
So moving to Oman early in your career and spending over 30 years there, what was the biggest adjustment you had to make personally and professionally?
Wow, that's an interesting question. I'll give a little bit of perspective to you. When I got an opportunity in Oman to move, I was already a inter ICWA, what is called the CMA today, Indian CMA. And I also heading an accounts department with the 10 people working with me for a company called Income Electronics that belongs to Sunmar group of companies.
Okay.
But when I got this offer, the interviewer said you can join only as an assistant, audit assistant. And that too for a meager salary of 120 riyals. But then my family situation was something like, I could not let it go. So when I went, I joined as an assistant, I started verifying the loan documents under somebody. So I have to mentally adjust as well as professionally adjust to climb down the ladder. On a personal front, I didn't have much things because my childhood friend Ramanathan was already living there. So he was giving all the comforts that I could ask for. So personally, I didn't find anything difficult. But professionally, yes, I had to adjust mentally as well as, professionally to come down the level and then go. That's what the challenges, that's what I felt.
So you started from the lower ranks and rose to senior management. So what is one quality that helped you consistently move forward?
2. One is willingness to learn. And second thing is to take the responsibilities as it comes. As I told you, I joined as an audit assistant and I started verifying the documents. But within 6 months, there was an opportunity. I was asked to start following up for the collection. That was a tough job because, considering that I had to learn Arabic. So generally a person after joining 6 months, having no knowledge of Arabic would say no. But without even second thought, I said yes. That changed the entire game. I started learning Arabic, I got into the learning mode and I got into the collection. And then people started looking at me differently. That is one important thing. That is willingness to learn and additional responsibility. My advice to anybody, if you a younger generation is, if you get a responsibility, don't even think. Because this is the age to put efforts and, come up in life. So willingness to learn and then additional responsibility. These 2 things are probably I will attribute to that.
That's true. So you often talk about sharpening the saw. So what does that look like in practical terms across a long career?
Well, continuous learning, something which I always look for. As I told you, I was a intermediate ICWA when I went to Muscat. But I decided to use the additional time that was available. Like, I don't need to travel much, and I was getting complete holidays. So I was using the time to complete my ICWA. I became I was the first guy in 90s to complete a professional program in Muscat in my company. That brought me a triple promotion. Right? Not only triple promotion, and later on I came to know that my father-in-law, when he was looking for getting his daughter married to me, he considered that as one of the main point. This guy can come up in life. 5 years later, when I got another opportunity, a guy like my friend Ganesh told me, let's do CPA. Then I started getting into CPA, I plunged into CPA and completed that. This continuous learning was giving me an opportunity to grow in the organization. It not only gave me promotions, it also gave me some sort of a reputation. Like, this guy, if you give him something, he can do that at whatever. That's probably one thing. That's what I call as a sharpening the saw. Even today, I'm doing. Even today, that's what I'm doing.
So many professionals stop learning after reaching stability. So what kept you in a continuous learning mindset even after decades of experience?
Yeah, I would like to quote a Tamil proverb or saying, whatever it is. It goes like this: Kattrathu kaimannalavu, kalladadu ulagalavu. It translates into whatever you learned is only a handful. You have to learn a lot, which is worldwide. It's full of things. So I always believe that I have to keep upfreshing myself. For example, I'm a hardcore rava idli and rava upma eater. Today, I know I'm good at eating Italian, Mexican, Japanese, anything. That's another way of learning, actually. Plus, today I am running an academy where I have to meet youngsters. I have to speak their language. So if I have to speak to their language, I have to understand the language and what is the current thing. Like, I have to talk about the universe, the Spider-Man, and X, Y, whatever. If I have to relate to the students, if I am going to talk in 1960s and 70s, they are not going to listen to me, right? So I have to talk to them in their language. That learning happens. My children also, they don't allow me to, they don't do it for me. They tell, Dad, you can learn. Even a small phone change, WhatsApp, anything like that, they tell me how to do, but they never do it for me. Mm-hmm. And I also believe, the day you stop learning, you stop living, you are dying. So I believe I would like to live. So I am learning. That's it.
That's a very valuable insight. Looking back, is there something you learned very late in your career that you wish you had understood much earlier?
Yeah. Self-confidence and how to express my thoughts without fear. Basically, I am from a very humble family. My childhood, my youthhood was always spent in meeting both the ends. So if I achieve something, I didn't want to leave it. I didn't want to mess up with that. So many a time, even I know that answer, I know how to do that, but I was always afraid that I will be questioned and the fear of failing. And, I started getting into this self-confidence mode probably 40th year, my 40 years or 45th year. So probably had I known how to be self-confident, how to express your views, those things, if I had I learned at the age of 25, probably it would have made a difference in my life. I mean, that's what, self-confidence, that's the one thing.
Yeah. Handling credit and collections in a large automobile group is a high-pressure role. So what did that responsibility teach you about decision-making?
Well, another interesting question. Definitely heading credit and collection is not an easy job. You have to make lots of decisions on the spot, either to clinch the business, whether I can extend the credit or not, whether I have to tweak the credit terms, or to recover the money. Many a times restructuring the loan comes. I had to put myself on the shoes of the borrowers, what is their perspective. And also I have to align with my company's policies. So once I started doing that, and slowly and steadily I was able to take decisions on the spot. So the answer to your question is decision making. Like how they say delayed justice is a denied justice. So like the delayed decisions in business is you are losing business as well as you are losing the clients. So taking decisions on the spot without harming the client as well as the business is the one thing which I learned through this particular profile.
So, in your experience, what is more difficult, managing numbers or managing people?
Well, obviously managing people, right? Because with people you are playing with their emotion. Some are weak, some are strong, some are brilliant, some are not that brilliant. But it is a team. When the team works, the dream works. So you need to be very careful in handling the people. In my opinion, numbers are byproduct of managing the people. So you actually have to study the psychology, and in one of my favorite subject is psychology. So when you start talking to the people and the way they respond, if you are able to relate and calm them down, then you can manage people as well as managing the numbers. But definitely everybody should learn how to manage people, because as I told you, numbers are byproduct of managing people.
So true. Over such a long career, you would have seen both good and difficult phases. How did you stay steady during uncertain or stressful times?
Patience. Patience is the only answer. Because not everything is under our control. Many a times things are not under control. So when whatever is under our control, you work on that. Whatever is not under your control, you sail with that, like sailing on a sea or sailing on a rough sea. You don't do anything which is unwanted, unwarranted, or something stupid also. You out of emotion. Just stay calm. As they say in Bhagavad Gita, this shall also pass. Iduvum kadandu pogum. That's what Tamil is saying. So you stay calm, you work on your strengths. Don't worry about things what is happening around the world or in our own places. The patience definitely will help. That's what I did during the COVID time. When collections were not good and companies were not going, just stay calm and have the faith in God. I am a complete believer. I always believe that everything already predefined, pre-designed. We are only passing through or walking through what is designed. This is probably not for the Gen Zs, but for people like a boomer like me, I always believe in God and faith. So be patient and work on your strengths, and definitely things will turn around and you will find your path.
You are a distinguished Toastmaster and have spent 20 years developing communication and leadership skills. So, how has communication shaped your professional success?
Good. If you remember a few minutes back, I was talking about self-confidence. Gaining self-confidence, I will completely attribute the Toastmasters and last 20 years of my Toastmastering. Because Toastmaster is the stage where you can actually fail and people still appreciate. Because the Toastmasters policy is you find something good in everything and start appreciating that. And they don't call errors and faults as fault. They call it as improvements. So when you fail and somebody is coming and saying that, hey, you did this well, slightly if you can take care of this. This attitude, I also started inculcating to myself. I started consciously trying to find good in everything, not to find faults, and see whether that fault by mistake anybody is doing, can I give an alternative improvement suggestion to that. When you internalize this, what happens? You find good in everything. When you find good in everything, you talk about it. When you talk good things, people listen. Mm-hmm. When people listen, actually what you are going to tell is going into their mind. The lack of communication happens when the other person doesn't listen. So whatever you want to say and the other person is listening, that means your communication is effective. I feel finding something good in everything and everyone not only helps you to become a good communicator, make others listen, also it makes you a good human being. Over a period of time, you find everything good. So that's what I feel Toastmasters taught me, and I know I am enjoying Toastmasters even today.
So, many finance professionals struggle with expressing their thoughts clearly. So, what is one simple habit that can dramatically improve communication?
Be honest in your opinion, be transparent, talk in simple language. Generally, if you see the auditors and finance people, they talk in lots of jargons. So avoid jargons. Try to explain your whatever you want to say in a simple language and simple words. It reaches to the people, because the person who is coming to you is not a finance guy, he's a layman. So you have to relate what you want to say in a simple manner that reaches to him. At the end of the day, he is coming for your advice. He is not coming to test your ability or your brilliance or your expertise. So he is actually in need of you. So keep it simple and make it relatable conversations. That helps them. That's what I say. Be honest, be transparent.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So when you mentor people, what transformation do you most often see in them?
It differs from person to person. As a mentor, the first thing I should do is to find out what they want. So my conversation get into with them. Like today I'm mentoring my students, I'm mentoring the members from Toastmasters, even my children. So I try to understand what they want and then channelize the entire conversation through what they want and try to give an honest and candid opinion about what you feel. Don't try to tell them do this. Try to tell them if you do, probably you can do this, but do it in your own way. So what transformation I find, especially with my students currently, slowly and steadily, they get into the self-discipline mode. Because subconsciously, I am telling them about discipline more. So they get into the self-discipline mode and they become consistent in their approach. So when you become self-disciplined and consistent, results, and that too positive results, are inevitable. So that's the transformation I'm looking at, and that's a transformation I'm driving through them. I don't sort of thrust on them, but I'm making them to find their own inner strengths. As a mentor, my job is only to make them find their inner strengths. To quote Toastmasters' mission statement, it always says to help the people to become greater in their self-confidence and personal growth. So great, it doesn't say great, it's greater. It's already there. Everybody is having some sort of a talent or skills. All you are doing is just to unearth their talents. That's the mentor's job. That's what I'm seeing in people also.
That's a very sharp lens to look through.
Thank you.
After such a long corporate journey, what made you shift towards mentoring and guiding students?
See, coaching and training were my childhood dreams. I always wanted to be a teacher. So when I shifted to India in 2021, after putting 31 years of service in Muscat, it so happened that my friend Mr. Ganesh also moved from Japan here. And then he said, let's work on this academy. Though I had an opportunity to go back to Oman, then I thought I will stop running this rat race. And then I will start pursuing my passion of coaching and teaching. So this helps me in meeting many students, mentoring them, coaching them, and finding them successful. See, money you can keep on earning. If you ask me whether 1 crore is sufficient, 2 crores are sufficient, or 10 crores are sufficient, there is no end to earn money. But this helps me in making some people. You are actually creating some people, helping them create their life. So that's the reason why I moved into this particular industry, corporate to coaching.
When you interact with young students today, what gap do you most commonly observe?
See, the current generation, I feel they lack commitment and efforts. They expect everything in a quick span of time. I mean, life is not an Instagram reel. It doesn't get in 2 minutes. They all, another thing I found is, there are plenty of opportunities today available. They are not able to keep, what they have to do. Even in commerce, if you say, there are plenty of options. In engineering, there are plenty of options. So I feel lots of information, but without clarity. And also without proper commitment and efforts. So So I always tell the students, don't try to deviate, don't they go into various angles. Take one, try to put your heart and soul into it, and then put necessary efforts. Nothing is free and nothing is shortcut. Do your best efforts, definitely they can achieve because they are much smarter than me. The world has given them lots of opportunity to learn many things, so they are much smarter. When they are smarter, all they have to do is put the efforts. These two, it's a deadly combination. They can come up in life.
What advice would you give someone starting their finance career today to build a strong foundation?
A finance guy should know the basics of finance. That's the most important thing. They have to learn properly. That's why I keep telling them, no, don't stop at only commerce graduation. Go into professional certifications. First, knowledge. They should have the knowledge. Second thing is, they should be honest, the integrity. And third important thing is, treat your business like your house. Try to manage within the means and then grow consistently. If you are able to do, actually it's like a home. Business is nothing but home. So if you put this into your mind with passion, then you are going to contribute to the organization. Today, finance people are no more considered to be bookkeepers. They're contributors to the bottom line. So if they have the integrity, honesty, and the knowledge about what is finance today, because it keep on changing, So if they learn that, I'm sure that finance is the field, it will never die. People can grow anywhere. That's what my take on it.
That's right. So beyond your professional journey, you've also raised children who have excelled in every different fields. In today's world, many parents want their children to succeed but struggle to balance guidance with pressure. What parenting principles have shaped your approach, and what advice would you offer to parents of this generation?
Two things. One, love your kids unconditionally. Number two, trust your children. These two are very important principles. Take the case of mine. Like, I have a daughter who is a filmmaker and my son is an engineer. My daughter was very good in everything, like science, accounts, whatever you call it. But her aim was to go into journalism and getting into movies. So I always felt, you don't live your dream on your children and allow them to live their dream. Then they will be excelling. The unfortunately current parenting is like, they have only one child or two children. So they want in every field their children should excel. Whether it is sports or art or education. Don't do that. You check what that individual is capable of doing. If a child is good in sport, don't make him to sing. He will be pathetic. If the child is good in art, don't ask them to go for a gym. She or he will be pathetic. So please understand, you brought in the child to the world. First give love and trust their abilities and support them, guide them. In life, everybody is an individual, whether it is your wife or daughter or son or parent. If you know what is their strength and if you can guide them in their strength, you will be having peace at home and they will be enjoying their life. This is what I would like to tell to every parent in the current generation.
So it's about letting them follow their dreams.
Yeah, allow them to do what? Guide them. Like, my son actually wanted to do automobile engineering. He's a hardcore automobile guy.
Okay.
Like at the age of 11, he could tell you the entire parts. As I told you, I was working for a large automobile organization. So he used to come and sit in the showroom. He won't even come to my office. He would talk to all the salespeople and find out what's happening around. So when he wanted to get into hardcore automobile engineering, I only told him, don't get into automobile engineering. Get into mechanical engineering with an automotive specialization. Guess what? Today he is working for an automation company in Belgium. So allow them or guide them to create a bigger base. So from there they can build multiple stories, multi-story buildings. That's what my suggestion.
That's nice. So, sir, across your 40-year journey from building your own career to shaping others, was there ever a phase where the responsibility you carried felt heavy? Not because the work was difficult, but because people were depending on you?
Very much. I'll put it this way. As I told you, I was handling collection and credit. Actually, I was handling company's money, right? It was not my money. So I didn't want to lose even one single money for paisa for my company in riyals for that matter. But when you are extending credit at that point of time, you don't know what exactly how the loan will go and things like that. Defaulters are not always intentional defaulters. There are situational defaulters. They started a business with a particular intention, and for some reason that business did not go through. They come to you. So you can't lose the money, you can't lose the customer also. So I always put myself, start thinking about on the perspective of the customer. At the same time, I also don't want to lose my money, company's money. That's where my Toastmaster skills of communication, negotiation came into picture. Sit with them, talk to them, find out a solution, restructure the loan, and at the end of the day, win-win situation. The customer gets some time to pay the money, so I recover my money. The customer remains my client because he knows this company, this guy is not another person who is going to put me behind the bars. He is finding a solution. Over a period of my 30 years career, probably I would have gathered more than 100, 150 friends who were originally my customers, probably my defaulters. Even today I am in touch. So when you are handling somebody's money, you have to be careful. If it is your money, okay, you can spend it as jolly well, but that's the only responsibility I always felt professionally.
That's a very insightful way of looking at it. You often say knowledge multiplies when shared. So what does that belief mean to you personally?
See, I am a person, I always believed that knowledge shapes one career. Not mere knowledge, the knowledge when it is applied. If you don't apply the knowledge, there is no use. What happens if you apply the knowledge, you only get the gain? It goes with you. Because money gets distributed, but knowledge dies with the person who dies. Right? So what I feel is, the person who is having whatever knowledge you are having, at least spread it to some 10, 15 people. Even 10% of your knowledge, somebody is going to take it. And that 10% is going to grow. So that is the major belief in me. Whenever I say knowledge is the only asset that multiplies when it's shared. I think it is Abraham Lincoln, if I am not mistaken. He was the one who said, somebody told him, sir, I will bring $1 and you bring $1, we will exchange. But then he said, if you bring $1 and I bring $1, when we go back, we are having same $1. Instead, you bring one thought, I will bring one thought. When we both go out, you will be having two thoughts. One is yours and one is mine. I will go with two thoughts. One is mine and one is yours. So that sort of knowledge spreading, I feel, is very, very important. That's why I always believe knowledge is the only asset that multiplies when you share.
That's interesting. After such a rich journey, how do you define success today?
In one word, happiness. Whatever you do, if you are happy, then you are successful. Because we do things for what? At the end of the day, to make ourselves happy. For that matter, today, whatever I am doing, I don't know whether it is suiting to your expectations, but I am thoroughly enjoying. Because I am happy doing this particular thing. So whenever you do, whatever you do, if that results in happiness, then you are successful. That's a simple definition for success. Don't search for anything else.
I like how you put it so simply.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Very
actually.
simple.
Yeah.
Very simple. People are trying to figure out something else.
Keeping things simple.
Simple. Are you happy at the end of the day? You make a small dish at home. If it is tasty, you are successful. You went for a 5 kilometers walk and you come back and you sweat, you are successful. Go for a movie, it's interesting, successful. Period. As simple as that.
Now moving on to the FinPod Power Wisdom round. Years from now, when people remember you, what would you want them to say you gave to others?
Well, a person with whom they love to talk, a person with whom they love to spend time, a person with whom they would like to share their sorrows and joy. Basically a good human being.
That's nice.
At the end of my life or the time, people should always feel that this guy was good enough to talk and he was not bossy or simple as that. Just a person to, they should not avoid me going with, it should be a person with whom they would love to be. That much. Simple.
And what one piece of advice would you like to give to the young finance professionals?
Young finance professional, learn to adapt to the current world, because the current world is growing faster than you actually contemplate. So keep on looking for learning for that. You have to keep looking for the changes that's happening. Keep upskilling yourself for the changes. Do not hesitate to step into the new shoes. That's the most important thing, because finance as a profession will never end. Fintech came, still finance goes. AI comes, still finance goes. The analytical brain you should have, thinking you should have. Then automatically you will become successful, whatever you do.
Now, moving on to the FinPod FinPros round. How do you think organizations like FinPros Network help finance professionals in their day-to-day life?
Today, there are many people talk about capital market, mutual funds and things like that. And many professional programs are there. So people like you with a digital backup and with a digital presence, I feel you need to create awareness. Call many experts, ask them to tell in simple terms what is a capital market. Sahi hai, that's an advertisement. But what is sahi? How to do that? That is what I probably people like, with the digital presence. Because today people look at Instagram and YouTube. You are actually doing a great service to the people. Because when people look at these sort of programs, they look for what is there in it for them. So if you can feed them with awareness about program, when I go to the interiors like Trichy, Madurai, people are now not aware of what are all the various programs today available, like USCMA, USCPA, ACCA. They don't know. They only know the regular chartered accountancy. Even they don't know what is chartered accountancy. I'm not criticizing chartered accountants. So you have to reach out to students, tell them what are all available, let them choose. We are not going to compel them, but let them choose. So you people are what I call a boon to this industry, for finance industry. You have to continue to do this, bringing people from various walks of life and giving awareness to the program. That's what I feel you should do. That's what you are probably doing, and thanks to you guys for that.
That's a very valuable insight coming from you, sir. I had the privilege of showing you around Mark Studio. So what do you feel about this place?
Beautiful. Because, for providing such clarity and such clear videos onto the YouTube and social media, you should have facilities like this. Unless you have facilities on 3 cameras and the best camera person and the best studio, and nothing is going to be useful, right? What I feel from the moment I entered into this room until now, I feel you guys are professionals. You are doing with passion as well as professionalism. And I'm sure that you are going to grow bigger and bigger, and my best wishes to you guys.
Now, moving on to the exciting FinPod fire round, I will say a word and you will reply with what it means to you.
Okay.
So let's start with knowledge.
That's a basement on which we can construct multi-story buildings.
Discipline.
That can take to any heights.
Communication.
A must, whether to avoid a war or a fight at home.
Leadership.
Best opportunity for you to serve people.
Failure.
Learn to cope up with that. Use it as a motivation to grow up.
Confidence.
Without which nothing happens. You be confident, things will turn around.
Mentorship.
Put yourself into the shoes of others. See how you can unearth their hidden talents.
Legacy.
Wow. A goodwill every person earns through their attitude. Leave it to the future generation on which they can improve, enhance, and come up in life.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable time.
Thank you very much, Jill, and to the studio. I really love the entire 1 hour spending with you. very valid questions, and it just opened up my heart. Should I add that probably this is my debut podcast and looking for more, and trying to spread my knowledge. That's the only thing multiplies. Thank you very much.
FinPod is really glad to have you, sir.
Thank you very much.
For more such valuable insights, like, share, and subscribe to FinPros Network.